Welcome to Everybody Wants to Be a Farmer, a podcast about the hope, hardship, and fistfuls of grit it takes to win the land's trust. In this show, we'll share the story of our farm, J.C. Acre, and talk with others shaping the future of food and farming. Those who've stayed, those who've left, and those like us just trying to find their way. I believe that in one way or another, everybody wants to be a farmer. Okay, welcome everybody. This is the second or third episode of Everybody Wants to Be a Farmer. It is being recorded ahead of time. So I actually, I hope that this is the second episode, but we don't know at this point. It could be any episode. But I am here with Phil Bonelli. Again, my name is Josh Davis. Maybe you don't know me. Maybe this is your first time to visit Everybody Wants to Be a Farmer. This is an interview show, and I am interviewing a farmer that I have become fascinated with ever since meeting him in late September, I guess, was when we met. Phil owns and operates a farm called Hopewell Farms. It is in northern Georgia, just north of Gainesville. And we met at White Oak Pastures. I was doing a class. Phil was teaching the class, and we met and connected there. And through our conversations, I realized that that Phil is a perfect guest for this show for one specific quote that he gave me. But Phil, I'd love for you to just kind of tell us about your farm, what sorts of livestock you run, what made you decide regenerative agriculture was the way to spend your life.
Awesome. Thanks. And I can't wait to hear now what that quote is. That was so interesting to you. I'm excited about that. Hopewell Farms, we are a regenerative farm that we sell direct to consumer, primarily animal proteins. So we sell grass-finished beef, pasture-raised chicken, turkey, eggs, pork. We have really expanded into organic veggies and flowers this year. And then we also kind of started selling more byproducts from our animal proteins. And we're selling dog treats, which are dehydrated parts of chickens and pigs. And then also tallow and lard-based like balm. So we have a beauty balm, tallow beauty balm. It's face cream from our grass-finished tallow. And then my daughter, Caroline, my older daughter, she's 13. She makes Kiss a Pig chapstick, which is chapstick from our lard. So that's been really fun. We have been around, let's see, I bought the farm in 2019, the fall of 2019, and I was not looking to be a farmer at all. I wanted a house with a couple acres, to plan with our kids. We had 4 at the time. I was a banker at the time, a commercial banker. So I just did loans and stuff for bigger businesses. And we found this house and we liked it, but it was part of a 43-acre farm. And they were selling the surrounding 33 separate. And we didn't want anyone to build a subdivision around our 10 acres. So we got the whole 43. We couldn't really afford it, but I rented out the basement of this house, which has its own entrance. So we got there, and then it was a working cattle farm. It was a cow-calf operation. And I told the guy, Ricky, I bought it from, you just keep your cows there because I don't have any. But he kind of got tired of having as many cows, and I started thinking, I think I would like to do grass-fed beef. So in the spring of 2020, I bought half of his herd and kicked out from there. And I think looking back, the reason I figured I wanted to do regenerative ag and kind of all natural stuff was because my parents gave me a Joel Salatin book, Folks, This Ain't Normal, which now I've read almost all of his books, but that really opened my eyes to some stuff. And then that workshop that you and I were at, Josh, 5 years before I was there, and it had a different name, Regenerating Land Through Livestock. And I went there when I just had cows. I just was wrapping up kind of my first cattle grazing season and learned how all these different animals add and take different things from the land. So I wanted to diversify and have pigs, chickens, turkeys, all that stuff. So we did. So that's how it happened.
That's amazing. I don't think I realized when we met and when you were kind of uh, teaching that course, that your farm is really not a lot older than JC Acre, our farm. We started in 2021.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's the one of the main reasons for this show is to kind of address the issue of what to do when the Instaglam wears off of the farming lifestyle. And when you realize that it's not a lifestyle that you get to showcase all the time, it's actually you've chosen a life. Um, and so uh, that's one of our main convictions with JC Acre is that this isn't like a lifestyle thing where we did it just to make ourselves look like homesteaders or to follow a trend or anything like that. We did it based on true convictions. And there is a point when the fun disappears. The name of this podcast is kind of an adaptation to a quote that I really like. Here's the kind of an upfront 5 minute in warning. Sometimes Josh Davis cusses a little. Not a lot, but a little, okay? But the the name of this show is an adaptation to a quote that says everybody wants to be a cowboy till it's time to do cowboy shit. And the same thing's true with the farmer. It seems like we've got this huge farmer trend happening, which I love. I think it's important that people are kind of jumping onto this thing and loving it. But then, farmer shit kicks in and the fun wears off. And when October hits in the panhandle of Texas, everything turns brown and crunchy and it's not photographable anymore. And so I'm excited to talk to you because you have taken your farm and kind of jumped some of the hurdles that startup farms like ours first generation. I don't know if you're first generation as well. Uh, you've jumped some of these hurdles, so we're excited to talk to you. The quote that I mentioned earlier, uh, I think I can't remember if we were walking to lunch after one of the first sessions or what, but we were walking with all the interns and we were all just kind of chatting, and you told me and a group of interns that um, a lot of people wake up in the morning and think through all of the things and try to plan all of the things that are going to go right in a day. And
Mm.
you said you wake up every morning and you get yourself pretty jacked up about all of the things that are going to go wrong. And the thing that gets you excited in the morning are how you're going to solve the problems
Mm.
that show up in your day. And that stuck with me because as a first generation farmer, there are problems that pop up that you have no experience solving, and it's all on you, and it's very unattractive, and there's not glamour in it.
First of all, doggone it, Josh. I am alive. I'm not blind or crippled. If I was, I'd still have things to be thankful for. And I live in the United States of America in North Georgia, tied with Texas as the greatest states there are. So I got nothing but things to be grateful about, you know? And I never imagined I would have a farm. We live on 43 acres. We lease another 48. My goal in 5 years is to be farming 1,000 acres. But man, I'm pumped that I get to do what I get to do. And I'm very pumped about what our farm does. I started out excited about moving the cows and doing these daily rotations and doing the chickens. And I am pumped about that. But as time has gone on, man, the thing that gets me most pumped is building up the team that we have at our farm and developing these young people. So I just love what I get to do. And it's not exactly that I get excited that there will be problems. I just fully embrace. I'm so optimistic because I know that the crap is going to hit the fan every day, but that with God's help, I'm going to take care of it. And that's my job. And it's a sinful fallen world and it's full of problems, man. And there's thorns in the garden and there's cow crap in the stall. And our job is to take care of it. And boy, that is where the fun is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the fun really is, and I love it when there's a quasi perfect day. But man, the real joy comes from taking on a problem and a challenge, especially with other people, whether it's your family or employees or both, and punching it in the face and coming out victorious. So yeah, I don't have any false optimism of thinking everything's going to be great, but I'm very optimistic because I know things are going to go wrong, and I'm going to deal with them. And I'm getting to deal with them for something I'm passionate about. I got to say
Mm.
one more thing that I think about a lot. I read a long time ago how the brain it's wired to deal with problems. So if you don't have problems, if I took all the Josh Davis problems away right now, whatever financial, health, operational problems, and I got rid of them today, and none of the problems that keep you up at night were still here, your brain would quickly make up problems.
Mhm.
So everyone's got problems, but when you are working on something you're passionate about, like JC Aker, raising your family, doing the things you do, then you're passionate about it. So you're focused on the problems related to living out your purpose and passion. And your brain doesn't really have the capacity to deal with all the other little nonsense. So it doesn't bother you. Man, my wife had to point out to me the other day I needed new shoes because all my shoes were so tore up. But I just don't care about shoes or whatever other clothes because I'm busy focused on my mission. So anyway,
Mm.
I'm pumped about what I get to do, and I fully embrace the challenge of the problems that come with doing it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I would love to hear some like specific problems, maybe especially when it was just you and your wife kind of running it. Because when you started, most of your children weren't old enough to help with some of the chores. I know that they help quite a bit now, but what were some of those things that had potential to set you off course?
Hmm.
Because you were a banker, I mean that's pretty solid fallback plan if farming doesn't work out, right? So uh, I think a lot of people who start it with a pretty solid like day job, and it's pretty easy to get out, and I think sometimes that can be a problem. Um, but I also feel like uh, I want to see people who have a passion for it, who have a good day job and have a passion for regenerating the earth and improving the quality of health and life for their community, to not abandon it when things get hard. So, what were some of those things that tried to kind of derail you or could have derailed you that you chose not to let them do that?
Golly, quite a long list. One big one would be we do pasture raised chickens and turkeys. And I start out the first year, I just process these chickens on a table in my barn. We got a little plucker, a little scalder, and did it in a way that was not, quite frankly, I'm not even all the way sure if it was legal or not because things have changed. And it's like, well, I did less than 1,000 and I sold them. Is that legal? I don't know. But anyway, I ended up I needed to build a poultry processing plant. So there's one USDA plant in the state of Georgia for poultry. Anyway, so this place in my state was quite far away, quite expensive. So hauling chickens there and then picking them back up processed was a problem. And I going into my second year of doing turkeys, I got a bunch of turkey poults and I called to reserve them being processed and they told me they're not doing turkeys anymore. So I did not have there was nowhere in the state to harvest turkeys.
Hmm.
So I built a poultry processing plant, and if you do less than 20,000 birds a year from your own farm sold within the borders of your own state, then you you are USDA exempt and you fall within the regulations of your Department of Ag. And so we built a poultry processing plant, and that about broke me financially and mentally many a time. It ended up costing way more than I thought, tons of hoops to jump through. And then, kind of several times throughout, the Department of Ag just kind of like changed the rules and acted like it was
Hmm.
my problem. So, anyway, that was a big challenge. And then we got licensed last year, which was 2024. So we operated the plant in the 2024 season and then learning how to run a poultry plant. I mean, that's not farming. That's basically manufacturing. Thank goodness we live in a area that has a lot of industrial poultry farming. So there is a lot of people that work at poultry plants that
Hmm.
I could pay to come help me. We have a crew of like 10, including me, that this past season, every third Saturday, we harvested about 750 birds. We just a couple weeks ago did our last batch, and we're getting ready to harvest turkeys. So
Hmm.
building and running a poultry plant, whew, about to kill me
Yeah.
several times.
Do some of those people that you get from the other poultry plants or other poultry houses in the area, like what do they are they coming from like a factory model to your model?
Oh yeah.
Are they does it kind of blow their minds? Are they do they find it dumb? Like
Oh,
what's their
oh,
reaction?
they love it. I mean, they love it because I think I pay them pretty darn good, and I pay them cash. And they're all folks who have emigrated to the United States
Hmm.
from Mexico to work in poultry plants. And man, we put on Spotify playlist, best hits of Mexico. I speak Spanish. We have a heck of a time. And I think my process is really more fun and more laid back. We're not all mechanized. So at a
Hmm.
poultry plant, they would be doing one task over and over and over again, whereas like we're not doing that. We're eviscerating by hand, and then we're cutting up and breasting out the birds. So we have a heck of a time.
Hmm.
Good time. Cook
That's
a big
awesome.
lunch. They like a lot of Monster Energy drinks, so there's unlimited monsters for them, on which
Nice.
I don't promote.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
drink energy drinks,
Yeah,
but
that doesn't match the model, does it?
coffee. You know what? It's so funny, Josh. I was like, all right, I'm going to get them burritos and monsters because that's what they want. And then I was like, man, I'm a regenerative farm and we don't drink stuff like this. I'm not getting the monsters anymore. But doggone, they love them. So I said, hey,
Give
you
the
can have your
people.
monsters, and I'm going to just start making you food from the farm for lunch. So we're part of the way there.
That's great. That's great. That reminds me of some other advice that you gave me while we were in South Georgia. Uh, you had taken notice of how much coffee I consumed throughout the day. And I was telling you how like I don't think it's good for me. Like I'm freaking out all the time. I'm like panicking about everything and everything's a big deal. And you're like, dude, just stop drinking coffee for a week and then go to drinking coffee no later than noon, and you'll be good to go. And my wife and I cut coffee completely out. We switched
Dang.
to mushroom coffee. I don't know if you've ever
All
tried
right.
that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
sounds like it'd be awful. It's delicious. Anyway, I've been off coffee for like 2 weeks, and I don't even really I don't want it anymore, which is great. And guess whose blood pressure is way lower? I think mine. Yeah, that's great. That poultry plant. What a cool thing. We are JC Acre is getting we're getting ready to put our first batch of chickens out on pasture. They're in the brooder right now. I think they've probably been in there about a week too long. But we are just about to move them out on pasture and we will be ready to process in December. And we're thinking through how because we don't have a poultry processing plant. It's going to be on tables with a plucker and a scalder and just getting down and dirty with it. So we're trying to figure out how to even plan for that. Because I think that first, it seems like that first time, like all, you probably can't even plan for it, really. Like,
Well, I'll tell you something. Watch some Joel Salatin YouTube videos. And then the most important part, we have a saying at the poultry plant, which is hand plucking is for losers. And if you got to hand pluck a lot of feathers and you're doing any number of birds, that is really going to screw you up. So the key to plucking, your plucker working, is the scalding.
mhm.
So man, get it where it is a set 145 degrees. Dunk those things for 20 or 25 seconds till the tail feathers start to, or the kind of feathers on their butt start to come out easy, and you'll have a good day. If the plucking goes well, the rest is just not so bad.
Yeah, that's great. This is no plug at all. But if you want it, it's worth it. We do the Farm Like a Lunatic courses from
Mm,
Joel Salatin. Have you heard of this?
yeah, you
It's
liking
cool.
those?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. He so we when we got into pastured laying hens, I bought that course and we watched basically, we went through the whole class and learned pastured laying hens, and then just recently we just signed up for the whole thing, and so I've been going through the pastured broiler thing, and he does, I mean, in-depth explanations and walkthroughs on how to process, how to eviscerate, how to make everything as clean and humane as possible. It's really it really is wonderful. So if you're a chicken eater out there, that's a it's a really a great resource. And then yeah, there's free resources on YouTube too, I guess.
Man,
Plenty of it.
I can't recommend enough doing things like that, Farm Like a Lunatic, and just learning. People are doing it. They are, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. Read books, watch videos, get courses, go to workshops.
Hmm.
Um, and you know, that one that I met you at, Josh, that was my second time. I've been there 5 years before, but now as my farm has grown, I have a whole different source set of questions. There's a
Mm-hmm.
whole lot of stuff I'm pretty good at now. So now it's like, ooh, let me see how your walk-in freezer is organized. Let me see how y'all do pick and pack for your orders. And next time I go, I'm gonna have some different questions.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep learning. That is a thing I do love about it as well. It's like you can keep learning and getting better. There's so much science involved, and there's so much business to it. I mean, that's where really I'm kind of getting back to learning more of the farming operations and science, because I did that so much for a few years. And then the last 2 years, I've really been almost completely focused on business
Hmm.
stuff and marketing and distribution. And anyway, now we're kind of getting back to refining some of the operational things. So you can always learn, which is very fun.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I really appreciate about the regenerative agriculture world is kind of the sense of community and like the team aspect of it. That even though I run a tiny little farm over here in Texas, like I know that Phil Bonelli 1,000 miles away in Georgia believes in what I'm doing and is willing to be a resource for this first generation farmer. And I don't know what it's like in Georgia. I assume that it's a little bit different from what I experienced while I was there. The hospitality, um, there's a reason that there's a stereotype. But our culture in the panhandle, and I know that I feel this being pretty much born and raised here, is every man's kind of an island, and
Mm,
you pick yourself up by your bootstraps, and you figure it out. And there's not a lot of that, like that kind of Amish style neighborly
mm.
participation. And it gets to this point, and I don't know if this is, I can't speak for my whole community, but I know that I deal with this a lot. Is that uh, like it feels like a lot of times that other people who are doing similar things are competition, and they are. I mean, obviously, like that's kind of business in general. Is like someone if someone else is selling eggs, it is your competition. But uh, I think it's really easy in our area to make these little pockets of competition into like enemies almost.
Mm,
And one thing that I love, and it's kind of a stretch for me all the time with regenerative agriculture, is that um, everybody in this that I've met believes that there should be more of this.
oh yeah.
Like I guarantee, I feel like I could speak for you and say that you would be just tickled pink if there was another 43-acre farm a quarter mile from you doing exactly what you do, so that there was more of what we want to see happening. Um, and so you
Well, it's just
appreciate.
it's nice to have that. And I think that's what you were saying, and I agree. It's like I want everyone else to do great, and I don't really, I do and don't think of some things as competition. Like there's a few farms in my area that are doing some similar things, and I'm like, there is way more business out there than we could all, serve. So like, man, I want there to be more. Let's go for it. I do feel like a healthy level of competition, and that I want all these other farms to double every year. but I want a triple or
Yeah.
quadruple. So I do want to be number one just because it's fun. And
Hmm.
why would you not want to be doing things the very best? But I want everyone else to be getting better too.
Yeah.
Um, and I love being a resource for other farmers because I'm
Yeah.
not. It makes it fun.
Yeah. That's it's just it really is just such a refreshing um, thing to come into. I think one of the things that makes agriculture in general really intimidating for a lot of people, I know it was this way for me getting into it, is that, and I don't know if this is regional too. I have no history in this. And so getting into it, there's this incredible imposter syndrome that you
Yeah,
feel and or that I've felt. And then there's also this leading up to like knowing that someone wants to do agriculture or wants to care for animals or care for land. There's this pushback, I think, internally a lot of times where you feel like you can't because you didn't grow up in it, or you didn't go to college and get an ag degree, um, or you don't have an animal science degree.
I think it's a major benefit to not have an ag background. Now, my kids will have a benefit that they grew up on a regenerative farm, but it would have been nice to inherit 200 acres. That didn't happen for me, but otherwise, I'm just so glad I'm not burdened with the way things should be or are supposed to be that my grandpa did and sprayed herbicides and all this nonsense. So, yeah, man, I there's so many first generation folks doing regenerative ag. Um, and I think it's a wonderful thing. And you can figure it out. I mean, you can just figure it out. I love this quote, anything worth doing well is worth doing poorly at first. And any strengths that I have, which I have plenty of weaknesses, I think probably my biggest strength is that I just believe I can go and figure anything out. If someone else has done it, why can't I do it? Let's go, let's go do it. And you can learn, you make mistakes, you're gonna mess up, and then reflect and get better. But that part of it is fun.
Yeah, I think that, I wonder if that's another thing that keeps that hinders people in some ways from pursuing regenerative ag is that there isn't like one, there's not a formula. There are
Mm,
some formulas that you can apply, but just like we talked about at that workshop, like everything is contextual. And so, like, I could ask you about hay bombing an area of our property that's covered in caliche stone, and you might say, "What's caliche stone?" You know, like
I
our
was
our
about to say that,
yeah. I
Josh.
I think I had a conversation with your dad. He was asking what our dirt roads were made of, and I was like, "Oh, they're all caliche." He was like, "What is that? Is that a Native American tribe? Like, what does that even mean?" Uh, it is like kind of a limestoney, uh, just crusty rock that is
Mm.
everywhere. About some areas like 6 inches below the topsoil, it's just caliche, and it's terrible, but it makes awesome roads. Anyway, there's a huge portion of the back part of our property that is like hilly caliche, and
Really, Kalichi.
yeah, so we've got to figure out how to put topsoil on that naturally, and I was actually talking to Will Harris about if he would hay bomb that, and he said, "I don't know, I've never been there." And so uh, I kind of I love that uh, in regenerative agriculture, there's not like a one size fits all playbook. But I think a lot of people like are afraid of it because of that. I think a lot of people like feel like they need a playbook. They need someone to tell them what the salute, like what medicine to give this pasture, what chemicals to put on it if it's not producing what you need it to produce. And we don't get that, and that's the fun of it. Um, but yeah, I think that really does push a lot of people back. I know several people that I think it pushes back to not have like a textbook. I do. I think that's the fun of it as well. I'm working real hard to adopt more of your mindset uh, on it being a blessing. My personality is like when things go wrong, I just flip out, and and it just gets it's guaranteed to go wrong. Like it's just gonna go wrong most of the time. It should be a surprise more often when it goes right.
Well, and there will always be things that go wrong. You certainly want to be like making a system of your own over time so that you minimize those things going wrong. And I'll tell you a quick example, man. Like, so we do pasture raised pigs. We have a group of sows and a boar, and they're fair wing piglets a couple times a year. And then we have our feeder pigs. Well, the key is you got to train those things to the electric fence, man. And if you don't, life's going to be real bad. So I had these pigs I bought from a buddy, and they were not trained well to the electric fence. And this one sow kept busting out and getting everyone else out. And it was stressful. You're always chasing pigs. That sucks. And man, I shot that pig, and we cooked her up for a party, and that took away my sow problems.
Mm.
And so I if pigs are out, I can't sit there and cry and get like I got to go deal with it and be like, all right, man, glad I have this farm. Let's get pigs in. But then I have to always be saying, well, what do I need to do so that my system does not have pigs getting out all the time? Because as you grow and get better, you will get bigger and more problems. So you got to nip the ones in the bud that you can.
Yeah.
And if the pigs say, man, if the pigs are not going to stay in the fence, they're going to get shot. And that's just,
It's time to go.
you could put that across all the different aspects of your farm.
Yeah. Yeah. We somehow we haven't run into a lot of those problems. Our little set of pigs is very small. So we've raised coonies the whole time, which like I don't know if there's an easier animal to manage than that breed of pig. So we really we haven't had like they don't flip their water over, they don't mess with stuff. They're awesome. But if you don't know this and you're listening, when a pig doesn't know about an electric fence, pigs, when something startles them, their nature is to blast straight through it. They
Mhm.
don't back up like most other livestock when they get shocked in the nose. They get shocked in the nose and they rip the fence apart to get away from whatever's shocking them. And so uh, we've had a couple of new pigs show up that have destroyed the fence like upon entering. They don't know where to go in when we're unloading them from the trailer or whatever. We've had some pigs destroy fences. We haven't had a pigs getting out problem as much as a pigs getting in problem. Uh, but yeah, like figuring out those systems is huge to help like stuff's gonna go wrong, but it shouldn't go wrong like 5 times.
Yeah,
Like
don't
you
let the
should,
same stuff keep
yeah,
happening over and over
yeah,
again.
yeah, uh, yeah. My granddad used to tell me he was a carpenter, and when I would like smack my thumb with a hammer, and then if I did it again, he'd be like, "Buddy, you're a pretty slow learner." So don't be a slow learner, I guess is the point. But uh, yeah, this episode of Everybody Wants to Be a Farmer is sponsored 100% by JC Acre, offering prairie raised eggs and pork to our friends in the Amarillo and Canyon area of the Texas Panhandle. Be on the lookout for brand new chicken meat coming in December. You can find us online at jcacre.co or follow us on Instagram at jc_acre. Back to you, Josh.
They started a farm and they got some chickens and eggs.
This is one of the questions that I'm going to ask on every episode, Phil.
Okay.
Who else does Everybody Wants to Be a Farmer need to be talking to, in your opinion? Who would you like to see interviewed on our show?
I tell you what, man. It's funny. People ask me sometimes, "Oh man, do you like watch Justin Rhodes stuff?" And I never watch Justin Rhodes stuff. I've seen some stuff, but the reason I don't is because Justin Rhodes seems like he's like homesteading. He's doing stuff for his family, and he's able to just do that and live this homesteading life because he gets paid from social media and YouTube. Well, that is not my MO. Like, I
Mm.
am building a business because I don't want to be a social media personality. I want to run a farm business. So I love hearing from guys who are further along than me in building a farm business.
Mm.
Because that's what gets me jazzed up. Because it's just a different outlook, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just raising. I do raise all my own food, but it's not my end goal. I
Hmm.
feed a lot of people. I want to do more and more, and the problems that come with that. Um, so folks doing that. There's a guy, I'll have to think of his name, but I read a book of his, and he does. The farm is New Forest Farm, and uh, somewhere north of here. Anyway, and they do a lot of like agroforestry and stuff.
Mm.
He'd be a good one to have on.
Nice.
New Forest Farm. So I remember the
I'll
farm name,
remember
not the
that.
guy name. I tell you another. I'm on this. I use Barn to Door, which is
Mhm.
like they're pretty awesome. They do our website and our online store, and I'm on this little thing with other people selling a lot on Barn to Door. And there's this Veterans Liberty Ranch, and I think they're in Texas. And it's these two ladies, and they're selling a heck of a lot of beef, and they seem really cool. Like, they'd be good ones to have on.
That's
Veterans
awesome.
Liberty Ranch. These seem like some fun ladies, man. They started out just selling like half beefs and stuff, and they'd go and make these, or they'd go to farmers markets and then celebrate with a margarita afterwards. They just sound like
Oh
some
man.
fun,
Yeah, that
fun
sounds
gals.
wonderful. That sounds very wonderful. Uh Man, that's great. I think you know, we are going to interview a lot of JC Aker kind of has that same vision that you have. Is like this isn't just a homestead for us. You don't have 1,000 chickens on a homestead. Like that's silly. So our goal is to feed our community something better and to show our community as best as we can a different way to manage land than what we see. Um, Often. And but I do know that part of the trend that we see is people wanting to homestead. Um, People who wind up buying 10 acres of land somewhere out in the country, and they build the farmhouse with the white walls and black roof and do the whole thing, the Instagram perfect life, and they start doing it. And then I think what happens is it really does get hard, and it starts to feel not as worth it. They just want something cool for their life. They kind of want to be a part of their own food system, and it gets really hard. And so I think, yeah, like a lot of those successful homesteaders would be excellent guests on this show. um, but half of the reason for this is I also don't know what I'm doing. And so this is a really great platform for me to also kind of learn a little bit about the business side of this thing. I'm so far from being an expert on regenerative ag or business management or any of those things, that hopefully this show will help me, will help JC Aker, and will help our community kind of, first of all, define regenerative agriculture, um, and show people the importance of knowing your farmer, knowing where your food comes from. Um, Whether that is like, oh man, I know that now Josh Davis owns JC Aker, and I know that Phil Bonelli owns Hopewell Farms, and I kind of like Phil better, so I'm going to order my beef from
Well, if
Hopewell.
they're in Texas, they better order from JC Aker
Well,
because I only
I
serve Northeast Georgia.
I agree, but either way, I think letting people know that these farmers exist and that there is an alternative to our factory models that we've kind of uh, accepted blindly, thinking that somebody cares about our health. I think it's really important for people to know that.
They don't care about your health. They don't care. They want to stick you full of medicines, and they don't care if those medicines are good for you.
That's right.
They are happy for you to eat the worst food for your body so they can give you more medicine. So
Yep.
know your
And
farmer.
know your farmer, know your rancher.
Yeah.
Our area is loaded with cattle ranches, really wonderful people, but truly the solution is know your farmer. Well, Phil, we've covered a lot of ground today, and I I'm really like super honored to have you on this show, to be one of the first interviewers that we've had. And I hope that everything continues to just explode for Hopewell Farms. And I appreciate your influence on our farm. And I look forward to many other conversations with you in the future. And just thanks for being on. Anything else that you would like to? You got anything on your chest?
Well, I would just say thank you, Josh. It's been a lot of fun. I'm honored to be on here. And there are many things which hold people back from getting into farming, but it's the same stuff that holds them back from doing any other thing, starting a business or asking a girl on a date. It's like, hey man, there are unknowns. Everything good is on the other side of something scary and or hard. And you got to go for it. Go for it, man. You live once. You're made in the image of God. And if you put a passion on your heart, man, go and figure it the heck out. There will be problems. Expect it and embrace them. Don't run from them, and expect to win. It's okay. If you don't know how you're going to get all the cows back in because the gate busted down, you decide those cows are getting in there, and you go do it, and you will figure out a way. So that's all I got.
That's great.
Boom.
Excellent.
Don't let fear hold you back.
That's right. Man, Phil, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Josh.
You bet.
Take me back where I can see miles of dirt in front of me. Summer's hot and winter's mean. There ain't nothing in between.
Hey, thanks for listening today. If you liked it, or if you think you might like it in the future, please click the subscribe button, click the like button, share it with your friends, share it with your mom. We'd love to have you along for the journey. We'll have a lot of guests in the future. We'll have a lot of fun stories to tell, and we look forward to you being along for the ride. Our intro and outro music is Flatlands by Ryan Colwell. If you haven't heard of him, now you have. Go check him out. We'll see you next time.
It's a great big sky.